I'm gonna admit and then, but so if you can just watch the. Hello, everybody.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm well.
Good
Hey,
afternoon.
Oral.
Hello. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
We're
Good
going
afternoon, everyone.
to go ahead and start sharing our screen, and are we not seeing our screen? Hmm. Okay.
Yes, I can
Yes,
see it,
All
Lachelle.
I see
right.
it. I think
Good, good, good.
frozen.
We are recording, so just FYI, and we are going to go live for all of our people that are at work. I just need to move it. Are we back to? Hello, everyone. We're going to give people about 2 more minutes to join the 12:05, and then we will go ahead and get started. All right, I want to make sure we have all of our key players, our presenters here.
You know what I want to do too? I want you to have a do it at the big contest. We talked, and I seen in Christmas coming up, so I said, we going each other. Yes.
If I can get everybody to mute.
And we,
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us for our Stop Six Choice Neighborhood Initiative Community Update. We bring to you all a lot of new updates and development that is taking place here in the great community of Stop Six. And so my name is Lachelle Goodrich. I am your Choice Neighborhood Initiative Director. And so it has been a privilege to lead these particular community updates. And we'll go ahead and get started. Unfortunately, our president, Mary Margaret Lemons, and Councilwoman Gina Bivens are not able to attend this meeting. They have other prior engagements. And so we'll go ahead and get started. We want to thank all of our partners for joining us, as well as our community members. So from the city of Fort Worth ISD, McCormick Barron Salazar, and Urban Strategies, thank you all for participating and joining, collaborating with us to make our community the best. Here's a quick overview. I will provide an overview from start to finish regarding the development here that's taking place, and then we'll have various breakdowns of the different pillars we have and so forth. All right, so we have three pillars. If you are new, we have three pillars to the Stop Six Choice Neighborhood Initiative grant. We have people, which is what I call the heartbeat of this particular grant, as well as housing and neighborhood. Housing, of course, is the new development, multifamily, affordable development that's taking place here in Stop Six. And then, of course, neighborhood, all of the critical community improvement from the new community hub, the WITSI, Farmers Market Pavilion, all of those wonderful things. And so you will hear from all of those representatives to give you an update. So here's the phases of transformation that has been taking place. We have the first phase, which is our senior living facility, which is where we are housed here at Cowan, which has 174 units. I believe we are 100% vacant. There may be a unit or two that is available. So get on the waiting list, or if you know someone, make sure you make that happen. Send them that information. They can call right over here to this particular property. Then we have phase two, which is Hughes House 1, which is about 50% complete. And I won't go into all those details. Babers Manor, Hughes House 2, 3, and then phase 6. Just to give you some milestones as we began this journey back in October of 2019, as you take the journey from being awarded the CNI grant to demolition of the historic Cavill Place property or housing community, then naming Hughes House, Phase 2 Hughes House 1 after the legendary Coach Robert Hughes, all of these wonderful things, transformation that is taking place here in the neighborhood, some of the milestones up until this point, as well as the grand opening of Cowan Place that took place here in November. We're excited about that. Then breaking ground on Babers Manor, which is the third phase of this project. So we are moving right along. So wanted to give some update regarding Cavill Place mural. We have selected a artist. And so we had a meeting with this particular artist and we are excited to get this started. He does have some preliminary questions. And so we have some community members we've reached out to because we want to make sure that this is giving life to the community. And so if you are part on that particular committee, then be on the lookout for those particular questions in the weeks to come. So we're excited to get this started, and hopefully, spring of 2025, we will be able to do a great revealing. This is just some of the artwork that he's done in other states and just around the country. And so we are excited to see him bring this particular public art space to life. Now I will pass it on to our housing team, McCormick Barron Salazar, as well as some other presenters that I am excited for you all to see. And so, Monique, if you want to jump off of mute and join us.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well today. But I will be giving an update on where we're at with the housing phases, as Lachelle mentioned, and then turn it over to Patty and Cornelius. But let me first start with our next slide, please, and kind of show what is happening. So we are in the construction of Hughes House Phase 1. And so there we go. Just as a reminder, it is a 162 unit mixed income, mixed use community. We will have approximately 8,800 square feet of commercial space on the ground floor on building 2, which is at the corner of Amanda and Rosedale. We started construction last April in 2023, and so currently we are nearing the 60% completion. Just had a draw meeting, in fact, on Tuesday with the general contractor and our HUD inspector. Things are moving along well. We are looking at, in terms of our construction schedule, hitting our substantial completion in early May of 2025. And we'll begin our pre-leasing in late winter, early spring of this upcoming year. So please be on the lookout. There will be outreach going out to the various organizations as we start to get Hughes House leased up. This is what we would consider a family community, and so it's elevator served, lots of good stuff at Hughes House 1. Next slide, please. So wanted to share where we are at with construction. I'm sure many folks who are traveling along Rosedale are seeing the buildings come up. And so building 1 is on the southwest corner of Amanda and Rosedale. You can see that we have windows installed. The building is wrapped. Brick will be installed shortly. So that is kind of the next item that will be going on the facade. And so you can see from the aerial photos that air conditioning units are set on the roof. And then just lots of things happening. Most of the construction work right now is on the interiors as things move forward inside the buildings. Go ahead, yes. So we wanted to share a bit of the unit mix and what we have. We have 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom units. We have bedrooms that are set aside at the 30% AMI or area median income. These are set aside as permanent supportive housing. We have 13 of those units with a maximum contract rent of $442. We do also have project-based voucher units, also set aside at that 30% AMI and going up all the way to 60%. And we do have market rate units, as you can see as well. There are 9 market rate 1 bedroom units, and rents will start at $1,200. We also do have 2 bedroom units also set aside at the project-based voucher that are project-based voucher units, along with those at the 60% AMI. And you can see there that we do have the range of rents that will be starting those units. You can see on the photo, this is the backside of building 2, which is on the, I would say that's, I always get confused here, so I apologize, but This is on the east side of corner of Amanda and Rosedale. And so you can see downtown Fort Worth in the distance, but this is the backside of building 2. Next slide. Here you can see where we are progressing with the inside of the units. We are in the drywall phase, so subcontractors are inside installing drywall. What comes next is what we would consider tape and float, where you tape all the seams, you float it out, you put texture, and then you will at that point be painting. And so once we get through painting and flooring, then we will be in a position to what we would install, what we would consider cabinets or finishes, which are cabinets, the counters, and other fixtures that go in the bathrooms. Next slide. A few more of those photos. You can see one here is of the restroom and bath area, and then down a hallway. So as you can see, lots of drywall happening. Next slide. What to expect as we finish up the end of this year. Building 1, our drywall subcontractor will complete their installation of the drywall. They will also start and complete the tape, float, texture, and painting. And then the buildings will be prepared for finishes. For building 2, we are about 30 days behind building 1. And so the same thing will occur. Installation of drywall will be completed, and as well as tape and float. The expectation with our general contractor is that both buildings will be ready for finishes before the end of this year. And so really, as we start 2025, it will be that process of, again, installing cabinets, toilets, and other fixtures as we prepare to finish up these buildings on both the exterior and the interior and get ready for lease up. Next slide. I am going to turn it over to Cornelius to talk about GMA. They are our general contractor for Babers, which is our 3rd phase of the CNI.
Good afternoon. It's early afternoon here in Chicago. I'm Cornelius Griggs. I'm the president and CEO of GMA Construction Group. We are excited to be leading the construction effort on behalf of Fort Worth Housing Solutions and McCormick Barron Salazar. We are extremely excited to be here and leading another great affordable housing project. I started the company back in 2009. I spent about 15 years of my career working for 2 large general contractors, one out of Bethesda, Maryland, called Clark Construction, and then one here locally called Walsh Construction here in Chicago. Concurrently with that, I was in the military for 14 years as a Army contracting officer, building barracks in Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Doha, Qatar. I like to say all the places where no one likes to go to vacation. That's kind of where I built barracks. Started the company in 2009 with just myself and a few former students of mine. I used to be a professor at the City College of Chicago, where I started a construction management program, an associate of science degree. So I left there and started GMA, and we've been building affordable housing, healthcare, and education projects across the country. We are in Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, Charlottesville, Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and New York City. So in our primary portfolio is affordable housing. About 90% of the work we do is affordable housing, 4%, 9% LIHTC deals. So we have become kind of an expert in at least building them, maybe not so much developing them, but we are definitely really good at building affordable housing. So we have a great team out there that's led by John Adams, who's our vice president, who runs our construction operations out in Fort Worth. I don't know if John is on the call, but he has a great team of superintendents and project managers who are going to build Babers for you, and they've already started under construction now. I think we've already started moving dirt out there. I'm headed out to Dallas next week to take a tour, but it's been extremely exciting to be a part of this opportunity. We've been in the Dallas Fort Worth marketplace now for about We're going into our 6th year that we've been out there. We've done a number of notable projects in the Dallas area and Abilene, and we've chased some work in Austin and also Houston. So we're excited to be your contractor. I'll turn it over to.
We'll pass it back over to Monique so she can finish giving an update. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Cornelius. So Cornelius has mentioned is our GMA is our contractor on Babers Manor. This is there at Ramey between South Hughes and South Edgewood Terrace, and we have renderings of what the development will look like. Babers is an 80-unit mixed income family community. We have a combination of what we consider townhome and garden apartments. The garden apartments is the building that you are looking at currently in the rendering. We closed construction financing on August 19th of last month and had our groundbreaking ceremony with Forward Housing Solutions on August 28th. So GMA received their notice to proceed, and as GMA mentioned, right now what is happening, and I think you can go to the next slides, we have a few photos of that, is what we consider earthwork. There it is, lots of dirt. This is excavation for building foundations. This is actually going to be the community leasing office. So you can see Mount Tabor is right there in the foreground on both photos. And so actually, sorry, this is building 15. The leasing office is in the second photo on the left side of the driveway. So as you can see, lots of excavation of dirt, and what happens at this point is what we consider installation of the lifts. And so in both of these are now actually compacted back, and you won't see open holes in these locations at the site. Next slide. Just to give you an update in terms of the building types and unit mix, we have 2-story walk-up buildings. There's 7 of those. We have 3-story walk-up buildings. There are 3 of those, and then 2-story townhomes, which are 4, for a total of 14 buildings, plus the leasing office, which is building 15. The unit mix is we have 18 1-bedrooms, 48 2-bedrooms, and 14 3-bedrooms for a total of 80 units. Our community amenities include a community room, fitness room, flex room, a parcel delivery room, and our management office, which would all be located at the leasing office, and then playgrounds around the site for children. Next slide. Here's some additional renderings just to give you a viewpoint. The first one is the street with the townhomes on either side. These are the 2-story townhomes. And then we do have the leasing office there. And then next slide. Our next phases are Hughes House 3. This is a 78-unit development with 3-story walk-ups. You can see the site plan here. We did get a 9% tax credit award at the end of July, and so we are now in a what we would consider moving to closing. And so we have selected a general contractor and are working towards closing at the second quarter of 2025. Our target is June of 2025. So we are moving through selecting an investor and a lender and moving forward with closing calls and submitting plans for building permits and the like. Next slide. And the last phase is Hughes House 2. We have, you can see the slide here with the site plan, but this is the largest of all the phases. This has 302 units. We've had information sessions with neighborhood and homeowners earlier this year. We have received a bond reservation from the Texas Bond Reservation Board. I know I messed that up, but we will be submitting for tax credits at the end of this year. And so that is an application that we'll be putting forward for 4% credits. And then as well, have selected the general contractor and will be working towards selecting an investor and a lender. Our goal is to close this deal and start construction at the third quarter of 2025. This is a large development, and so there will be a lot of heavy lifting, but as you can see from the site plan, we have multiple buildings. There will be a pool along with playgrounds, walking trail, dog park, and just other lighted pathways so folks can have an ability to just walk the community and, you know, do what neighborhoods do, get out there and walk around. And that, I will turn it over to Patty.
Thank you, Monique. So I'm very excited about the development that's been happening and that everybody has talked about to date. I wanted to share with you this quarter a little bit of update on the minority business participation. So if you joined us last time, we talked about the Section 3 worker participation. This week, we're going to, or this quarter, we're going to talk about that center section, minority business participation and women business participation. So each of these projects has a goal for participation, and we measure those on the City of Fort Worth's platform for tracking what that looks like in terms of awards and participation. So on the next slide, I'll tell you how we're doing. Thank you. So each of the projects is being measured towards this goal. So overall, the community commitment was made that we would have 25% minority participation, 5% women business participation. And each of those projects is measured according to their contribution made to the overall Stop 6 redevelopment. And we really track it in 3 different ways. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to how many dollars were paid to businesses that are eligible for that kind of credit. And so the 3 projects are in really good phasing to be able to communicate how this really works. So Cowan, for example, which is all complete, 100% complete. If we look at all the payments that were made on Cowan Place, almost 29% were paid out to minority and women business subcontractors. So those data points are put into the City of Fort Worth's platform, and we look at the payments that were made over time, and they came out to almost 29% to subcontractors. Hughes House, which is 60% finished and complete at this point, we're still looking at not just payments, but also the committed contracts. So depending on how the contracts were issued and which contractors are eligible to be counted, we may see the payments later in the phasing. So we're looking at Hughes House and the commitment by the general contractor to use just over 20% currently, and they're looking for additional opportunities for minority and women business participation by subcontractors on that project. So that one is only 60% paid out, and so we're looking at that spend overall. And then you just met and heard from the general contractor over at Babers Manor. Babers Manor doesn't have any payments yet, and so they are still submitting and securing all of their subcontractors. Let me correct that. They have a list of subcontractors that they have identified to come up with their overall price, and they're developing those contracts and executing those contracts so that they can issue those subcontracts. The interesting thing about Babers Manor is that the prime contractor, so the general contractor who you just met, is also eligible for credit on that project towards our minority and women business participation, in particular minority participation. And so that project in particular has a proposed utilization of over 47%. So that's including the participation in self-perform work that we'll see with GMA, as well as any of their subcontractors that they have selected that are eligible based on the criteria that City of Fort Worth has laid out for us. So just very, very good timing to get the difference between measured by payments, minority participation, committed minority women participation, and then proposed, which we're seeing at Babers. Each of the projects that are coming up will go through the same process. And at the end of the day, it's measured by the payments. So if we go through the next slide, I can tell you how that works. So first things first, every business is a business first. And we always make that point because this may not be the market for your particular firm, or even if you're a subcontractor, you may be a plumbing contractor, but you don't want to build 176 units back to back to back. because that's not your business model. So we always talk to businesses about what is your business model and what market are you in. So a business is a business first. Not all of them are attracted to multifamily housing construction. We have done some outreach and we've done some education and training to make sure that we alert folks as to the opportunities on multifamily housing. There's a lot of opportunity coming up, but also what it takes to work on a project like this with a schedule like this and the production that's required. When businesses are eligible or perform that work, we then update them on what counts towards the minority and women business goals here in the Stop 6 redevelopment. So we're following the Fort Worth Business Equity Ordinance. And so what it requires is that for a firm to get credit towards minority and women business participation, they have to be certified. That means there's a third-party agency that has looked at that business and to make sure that they're actually owned and operated and controlled by a minority or women business owner. So they don't want to see any kind of pass-throughs or other shady business deals that is trying to skirt the regulation. So the really good thing about this is that we know that all the minority and women business participation that we have on the project has gone through that vetting process, and they are actually owned and controlled by the owners that they say are owning them. In addition to the certification, the Fort Worth Equity Ordinance requires that the business be located or do significant business in the 6-county area. So Tarrant County and the surrounding counties, they want to make sure that the business is here locally, so locally participating and spending money. So they look at revenue and employment. And then finally, nobody is counted towards the project unless there's an executed contract. So we mentioned payments before, and then awards and commitments before, and then proposed utilization. So there may be proposed utilization, but until the actual contracts are entered, they're not counted or indicated as committed to the projects. And then finally, it comes down to payments. So we monitor from beginning to end to make sure that the general contractor is paying out against those contracts that were issued, so that we can be sure that the spend is actually there. And so the nice thing about the ordinance and the system that the city of Fort Worth uses is that each minority and women business firm then confirms their payments and can alert the city and alert us, the development team, whether or not there's an issue as it relates to payments. Next slide, please. So to wrap it up, there are some helpful business links that are available on the City of Fort Worth site. The city does not certify businesses as minority and or women, but they do indicate which certifications they'll allow for credit on their projects under the ordinance. But they have a whole slew of business links that can help you get started, help you find additional resources, help you find some networking and technical assistance groups. And so it's always a good place to start at fortworthtexas.gov/business. And you can find links to the certification agencies that I just mentioned, and also some chambers of commerce and additional resources for helping your business. So if you are interested in this kind of construction, multifamily housing construction, please do reach out to Lachelle, and we can make sure to work with you and get you moving towards the right certification and introduce you to the right contractor. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty, for that update. Now we are going to, any questions or concerns for Monique? You can put that in the chat. We will make sure that they get answered. And now we are going to pass the mic over to Casey, the new Neighborhood Services Director for the City of Fort Worth. Casey, are you with us? Yes,
I
you are.
am. Thank you. Yes,
Welcome.
ready for the next slide. Hello, everyone. I'm Casey Best with the City of Fort Worth, and I will be giving you some updates on our hub, which will be the new community center and also aquatics facility there in Stop 6. So we are happy to announce that we have completed the programming for the indoor facility portion. This includes not only, and it'll be on the next slide, but it'll include not only city departments, but also some external service organizations as well. We will be working with, thank you. Yeah, we can So this shows the people that will be occupying the hub. The ones that have the X for permanent space, they will have office facilities there at the hub. And so you will see there will be a multi-purpose center, a library facility. We will also have some public safety officers. There will be space for our aquatic center personnel. The Envision Center, which is currently there at MLK Community Center, we will have a much better improved space for them, as well as our Community Action Partners team. They are the ones that provide social services for our residents. And then the flex space, this is also, we will have office space designated for these organizations. And we call it flex because these are entities where these are the designated entities now, but if for whatever reason we need to switch out organizations later, they are flexible enough where we could do that. And so what you see is we're trying to have a mix of not only health services, workforce services, and also jobs, workforce and job services. And so you'll see Workforce Solutions will be there, MHMR, Cook Children's, as well as the Tarrant County College Opportunity Center. And then we also wanted to just acknowledge the fact that within a 5-mile radius of the hub, there are a number of other services that will be available. And if you can go to the next slide, there's a map just showing the locations of these different organizations. The yellow star in the middle, number 3, is the hub. And then the numbers surrounding it are other services that are available. So this will be more of our education services, such as Young Men's Leadership Academy, as well as food providers. Tarrant County Area Food Bank is within that 5-mile radius. And so just wanted to show that there will be a variety of services that will be available to the residents. And then if you will go back to the first slide, please. Thank you. So next steps for us, we are currently working with an architectural firm to build out the programming for the pool for the area. Obviously, this is a needed benefit that we will be bringing to the community. We have not had a pool in this area for a while, and so we will be working with the architectural firm on that. And then have begun working on the schematic design drawings. And so as part of this phase, we're working on building layout. We're finalizing what are going to be the features in the facilities, such as storage spaces and AV equipment. All of that are the things that we're working on now. And so to help with this process, which is really kind of the core details of what the facility will look like, we will have a number of community meetings where we will be soliciting input from residents just to get an idea of what people in the area want to see for this facility. And so we hope to collect all of that input from the residents prior to finalizing our construction documents, because we want to make sure that this facility is really has the interests of the community as we build it out. And then I believe you can skip forward a next couple of slides. Yep, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it on to LaTanya to give us an update on all of our families that we've relocated during the relocation process, as well as the ones that have returned. And so she has some great news for us.
Thank you, Lachelle. Good afternoon, everyone. And pardon my camera. I am frozen when I try to turn it on. So I am going to give you some great highlights about what's happening in our educational pillar, as well as some things that we did in summer programming for our youth. We provided a 4-week summer academic enrichment camp where we intentionally looked at the data to create programming around academic proficiency, as well as social and emotional well-being. We hosted parenting, virtual, and in-person back-to-school readiness workshops. We wanted to equip our parents with knowing about attendance, how to be an advocate for your child who may be experiencing special needs, how to make sure that you're communicating effectively with the teacher and the principal. So we did workshops around school readiness. We did host a back-to-school family engagement event where we provided backpacks and just other community resources. We partnered with Fort Worth ISD to host early learning and an enrollment fair. So we wanted to make sure that our kids started enrolling in the spring for the fall, so we could have really good jump starts for those who started school ready on the first day. We also provided some maternal health classes for our pregnant and parenting families that were focused on ages 0 to 3. And 3 of our youth received recognition for completing summer programming 3 years in a row that was funded by scholarships from Campfire, who is a phenomenal community partner of ours. And then what I'm really, really excited about, and you'll see in the photo to the bottom left, is that we started a multi-generational literacy program at Cowan Senior Living. So that is where we strategically pull our youth who need that little extra nurturing around reading and support. And we pair them with residents at Cowan. And we actually have some retired teachers and those who have provided tutoring. So we match our youth with those, and it's been just a great experience. And actually, this started not only just from our data that we collect, but also from hearing some things that the residents wanted to provide. And so we'll move on to the next slide. So I have some wonderful resident engagement highlights, and I just want to give a special shout out and a virtual round of applause to one of our residents. She's a single mom of 7, and she graduated with her electrician apprenticeship license and also completed a construction maintenance program. So we're working to get her employed with some of our developers, and I just think I love this photo. She's just shining bright and just is phenomenal in what she did. And so really, really proud, not only of the service that we provided, that our family support specialist provided for her, but that she did this. And motherhood, no matter how big or small your family is a lot to juggle. So she did this with 7 babies. And so they are proud of her, and we are all proud of her as well. And so also on the following slide, wanted to highlight 2 other residents. Sanaya Thompson, as you see here on the left, she graduated from Dunbar High School and is attending Prairie View A&M University and is loving it. She showed us pictures of her room and is excited about being on campus and doing very well. And also on the right is her aunt, and she told me just this week that she has enrolled in college herself based on hearing what her niece is experiencing. So kudos to her, very excited about that. So she starts online classes November 1st. So very, very excited about her, and we'll continue to keep you posted on her as well. And so if you see on the right side, we also have a mom, a single mom here, who will be graduating in December from UTA in Arlington and with a bachelor's in criminal justice. So we will be celebrating her big time in December. So very, very proud of the work that she has done. So as we move to the next slide, I wanted to talk about some new partnerships we have established. I'm very excited. Yesterday, Meals on Wheels, we are an official partner with them for Cowan Senior Living, and we did a resident meeting. And so we will be providing meals Monday through Friday for our seniors at Cowan. And so very, very excited about that partnership. And the residents were so stoked yesterday about this wonderful opportunity. So very happy about that. And then also we're working on creating another partnership with Girls Inc. To provide mentoring for girls ages, starting from 3rd to 12th grade. So very, very excited about this partnership that's coming along with them. And very, very happy and excited and proud to talk about this. So Fort Worth Housing Solutions, Fort Worth ISD, and USI, we were featured in the National HUD monthly newsletter as a national best practice for our educational outcomes with Calvo youth. So very, very excited about that. Lachelle, myself, and some other colleagues on the team presented in Washington, D.C. on how we have come together in a collective impact spirit to be able to provide very, very robust educational outcomes for our Calvo youth. And so some of the things that we have successfully accomplished is that we have decreased our chronic absenteeism. We've improved our kindergarten readiness, and we've increased the percentage of our former Calvo students, their proficiency in reading and math, and we are ensuring that all students complete high school. And so right now we're at 98% since the inception of the grant of those who have graduated from high school. So we're very proud to be featured in HUD's national newsletter for a national best practice. Yay. And That's that collective impact. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys, which is very, very important, as you know, early learning is essential to everything we do in educational fortitude for our babies. So we worked really, really hard and created action plans and strategies around how do we get more of our kids ready for preschool. And I'm just happy to share, as you can see on this chart here, that 61% of our kids are receiving early learning. And that is absolutely wonderful. So we're being very intentional about making sure our kids are ready for school and ready for preschool and kindergarten and above. So just wanted to share that and highlight that great percentage increase from July to August. And so just some upcoming priorities that I'll just kind of go through quickly is that we do use a national best practice called attendance work. And so we're going to be hiring 2 former Calvert residents who will be receiving stipends from us to be able to help with our ongoing commitment to school attendance for our kids. All the preparations, and you've heard Monique talk about, we are underway with getting our residents ready to transition back to the community with Hughes House, and just kind of making sure we're keeping them abreast. And many of our residents, I want to shout out to our residents who are listening at our watch party too, to make sure that they are having a smooth transition back into Stop 6. Ongoing back to school support for our families throughout the year to make sure they're adequately supported and they have all their barriers removed to make sure that they remain in school. We're looking at, no, not looking at, I'm sorry, we're going to continue our career development and assessment workshops. And so we're looking at really bolstering our support and increasing our numbers for those who are unemployed to make sure they're stable and thriving. And we commenced our fall series of in-person and virtual parenting classes. Matter of fact, we have one going on right now as I speak, to make sure that we are providing valuable resources and support to our parents, especially around the realm of social and emotional well-being. And we have a whole semester plan. We have high school seniors, I believe 10 and a total of 21 with juniors and seniors. We're going to be hosting all types of things for them this fall to make sure that they are connected and celebrated, to cheer them on towards graduation, and to also get them ready for any college and career readiness that they choose to do. So those are our upcoming priorities for the remainder of the year. And I think that's it. And follow us on Facebook at USI Fort Worth. And I will turn it back over to Lachelle.
All right. Thank you all. As you see all of the great happenings in that development as our families that we've relocated are thriving in their new communities, but also are thriving when they return back to their home. And so, as I mentioned before, the people pillar is always the heartbeat of this particular grant. And so, thanks to USI for all of the wonderful work that they are doing to invest into our families. This is just a gentle reminder that voting is coming up, and so we want to encourage everyone to take care of their civic duties, and we will send out a survey to all of our participants as well as our community organizations. We would like to reach the masses when it comes to the Hughes House commercial space. We have approximately about 77,000 of square feet of commercial space that we want to make sure that businesses that are needed and wanted in this particular community. So it's questions such as, what is the number one business that you would like to see in the space or come back to the community, as well as some of the things that you are desired. So be on the lookout. We will send this video as well as this survey. Copy it, paste it, text it, email it to your friends, especially members that you know that live in the Stop 6 area or that they plan to return. And with that being said, this concludes our Stop 6 Choice Neighborhood Initiative Community Update. Please follow us on all of the socials. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email us at stop6cni@fwhs.org. Also can learn more at our website. And again, thank you all for spending your lunch with us, and we will see you all in a couple of months. Have a great day.